And hello. We're live. And I have my trusty organic sparkling passion fruit and strawberry water. So I actually planned on getting this started a little earlier, but having 5 kids at home, things get a little crazy sometimes. So we ended up doing haircut stuff today, and picking up some food earlier, and it put me behind schedule. So I had hoped to be here and starting things at 7:30, and now it's like 8:13. So lots of stuff has happened over the last 2 weeks. Probably since the last time that I streamed. Of course, I had mentioned beforehand I wasn't able to stream because I had to have oral surgery. I had to have a tooth extracted that had broken, and then they had to put in some dental implant hardware and all that good stuff. So I couldn't talk for days. I mean, I couldn't even eat for days. So for like a week or week and a half, streaming just wasn't a possibility. And last Wednesday, against my better judgment, I decided to go ahead and do the regular Wednesday Unhinged Tech stream with my friend Dan. And I barely made it through that. So I was like, you know what, I'm just not going to push it. And, the holidays and everything, Thanksgiving, finally back on track now. So should be able to get back on here and do the regular live stream stuff like normal. But yeah, here I am tonight. So hopefully everybody's having a great holiday season so far, and you were able to buy all the things that you wanted to your heart's content for Black Friday and Cyber Monday and every other shopping holiday in between. And there's been a lot of them, especially since you can't really, you can still go out to the store some places, depending on where you're at. But when it comes to like the traditional Black holiday shopping thing where everybody goes and waits in line, and you've got people that are, sitting there waiting out in line in tents for like 2 days. It just didn't happen. Other than for the Xbox Series X, I did see. Yeah, I was out. Normally my beard looks a little bit better. My wife hid the conditioner for a few days, so she decided to buy some new conditioner and then took ours to the kids, and I didn't know what happened to it. So normally I condition it every day, and then I've been wearing a mask for like the last 5 hours, so I guess that's probably why the beard doesn't look so great right now. Then I'm going to trim it. But thanks, Jeff. I appreciate the offer. Drew Victor, are you planning on selling? No, I'm not selling it. That's something that was sent to me as a review unit, so I will be keeping that. And of course, whenever it comes around to review units and stuff like that, it's not like a one-stop shop thing. I did my unboxing video. I did my 72-hour or week-long review here, and then I'll do my full review probably in about another week. And then, I'm going to get the OnePlus 8 OnePlus 9 when it comes out. There will be comparison videos, so they don't become obsolete as soon as you make like 1 or 2 videos. So, no, it's not going to be going anywhere. But thanks a lot for everybody who's here tonight. Favorite tablet of 2020. I got to say my favorite tablet is probably the Tab S7. So I originally got the Tab S7 Plus, because the new one comes out. I had the Tab S6. I didn't want the Tab S7 because it was an LCD screen as opposed to an AMOLED. So I went with the S7 Plus, and then it's gigantic. I don't like that the tablet is that big. I've been using it. I lay in bed and use it to make my thumbnails, and the sucker's like this tall, and it's really heavy. And definitely don't drop it on your face. I almost did that because I was tired. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was making a thumbnail, and I almost had an accident with the Tab S7 Plus in my face. So the Tab S7, surprisingly, the LCD looks amazing. Normally, LCD screens, and especially if you took a look at the Tab S6 Lite, it's not the greatest LCD screen in the world. It's just not on the same level. But the one they put in the Tab S7, it looks good. So the Tab S7 really feels very much not much bigger than the Tab S6. So I think that for me, the Tab S7 is my favorite this year. I've also got another tablet here that I'm in the process of reviewing. It's from Lenovo, and it's their M10 HD, I think is what it's called. And this one they sent out to me to review. So I'll have my unboxing coming for that. I've been using it for a couple of days, and it's pretty neat as well. Really good premium build. I've got the Tab S6 Lite over here. I do like tablets, and yeah, I've been trying to make more tablet stuff because people seem to like those videos. I've just been so swamped with everything else lately. Last week, like last Monday, I got 3 tablets and 2 phones that showed up in the same day. So trying to keep up with all this stuff on top of the other ones that I have already. If you notice, I've even been putting out 2 videos a day in some instances, just because I've got so much relevant content that needs to be pushed out right now. Plus the fact that I have so many things to review. If I don't push them out, I mean, it's still on the normal time frame. Like, if I put out a review, it's not like I've been using it for 2 days and review it. It's still 7, 10, 14 days I've been reviewing it, but everything's just so condensed that like this camera review I put out. I did my full review for the Lumix G100 by Panasonic. I started filming footage on that like 2 weeks ago and just was able to put it out, but put it out the same day as 1 or 2 other videos. So I've just been swamped right now, and being a one-man show, and the thing is, I review a lot of things. Like, it's not just that I review phones or just that I review tablets. I review a lot of stuff. So yeah, it's been a time here lately, but it's been good. Lots of views, lots of positive responses, lots of new subscribers. So I'm very grateful for that. Amazon literally bought my Blackberry passport 3 days ago. Oh, cool. Well, hopefully you watched the video that I made on how to get the Blackberry World store to work on there. But yeah, great phone. Totally love the passport. Hopefully you're enjoying it in the capacity that you can use it. And also go check out stuff from the Amazon Play Store. There's a couple of things in there too. Amazon App Store. Mitchell Davidson, so you dropped your V60 on your face. Yeah, I've actually got a video. I've already recorded it. I shot it the other night. It's about the most dangerous phone of 2020. And I had an incident with my iPhone 12 Pro Max. And this thing is made out of stainless steel. It's got the ceramic shield. It's got Gorilla Glass. 228 grams. And I dropped this sucker, and it almost landed right on my face. And I was like, it was a very dangerous moment because it's hard to hold on to. Because here's the thing with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It's not as easy to hold as the previous 11 series because the rounded sides are more ergonomic. They contour better to your hand. So this has the stainless steel body on it, and it's it's kind of slick. So if your hands are dry or you don't have a case on it or whatever, you can very easily let this slip out of your hand, and then you've got these flat sides and everything. Like it could cause some serious damage if it hits you right smack in the face. And that's a reality that we live with, laying in bed, playing on our phones late at night. Drew Victor, love your channel. By the way, how hectic is life as a full-time? Well, life is very hectic as a full-time tech YouTuber, and I don't really consider myself full-time because I still have a full-time job, at least until January 1st. Life will actually get better for me and less hectic once January 1st gets here because I won't be working a 40-hour work week anymore and doing 40 hours of YouTube. So I'll probably be doing 40, 50 hours of YouTube and having 30 extra hours of free time. So I'll be able to start playing Xbox again, play some Call of Duty, spend more time with the family, and get back into a really good rhythm and schedule with all this stuff. But, this is just the busiest time of the year right now. When we go into September, October, November, that's when all the big stuff for the year comes out. So there's just been a whole lot of stuff. And I apologize for not getting the announcement for the reminder for the live stream this evening. I planned on doing that, and I know I'm bad about that. But last one that I did 2 weeks ago, I'm trying to do that. So today just didn't go the way that I had planned it to. Between running around doing stuff with the family, for the family, and some errands, and then dinner, and getting my kids' haircuts. Their hair looked terrible. I went ahead and got mine cut as well while I was there, but. It's the holiday season right now is very busy on top of regular YouTube stuff. Is Xbox 360 worth it to get now since it's cheap and all the games are not that bad? So, if you never played the old Xbox games and you want to, I don't think that it's the worst investment in the world. I would more likely recommend that you get an Xbox One, just because you can get an Xbox One, Xbox One S fairly inexpensive now too. You get the last couple the big name titles for the last couple of years, and you can play it's backwards compatible with the Xbox 360 games. So I don't think that you need to get an Xbox Series X right now. One, they're crazy expensive. I mean, $499, if you can even find one anywhere, because they're so hard to get. So, yeah, I would recommend just getting a regular Xbox X, or Xbox One, right, rather than the Xbox 360. Gerald L., how do you feel about the demise of the Note series? See, I think some people look at this in a negative way, but I've been saying for a long time that they just need to either get rid of the S line or they need to give the S line stylus support, because back in the day, the Note was a very, very distinct device. They did a lot better things with it. They would put like more emerging things in there. They would have much bigger battery. The screen would be substantially bigger. It would have the S Pen, usually better cameras. And then it's like all the new stuff started going into the S series. Now the S series is like more cutting edge, and then they just kind of put the same stuff in the Note and refine it and give it a squared off look. So I haven't really felt like the Note has been that special for years. I mean, the last time the Note to me was really special was probably the Note 5. And, of course, the Note 7 that was not, everybody knows that one went up in flames, pun intended. But, yeah, so once the Note 8 and the S8 came out, they really kind of merged the two lines anyway. What I would rather kind of see go the way of the Dodo, I think the Note line is more... Like, people really love the Note line, but I think that maybe more people get the S line. But what's going to be good is they're going to incorporate S Pen support. I don't think the Note itself is obsolete, but the regular S line can fulfill the same thing. So if they put a slot for an S Pen in there, just merge it into one phone, and then you're going to have S Pen support with the new Folds. The Fold is really the next iteration of the Note. See, the Note has always been the productivity device. So if you can give an S Pen for the Fold, and the Fold is much bigger and is much more better for multitasking, then I think people will naturally want to gravitate towards that. And I think as the technology gets cheaper, the price will come down over time, or they'll at least have more economic models. So I don't really think that the Note is not going away in spirit. The Note is actually kind of migrating, because all the best things that you would ever get out of it are going to be available in the S line, potentially cheaper, and then also for the Fold series. So I think, the Fold series will effectively be what the Note was, and then you'll have S Pen support for the S series devices. So I don't think it's the end of the world. I mean, people are still going to be able to use the S Pen with their phone, which is what they want. I don't think that there should be a lot of heartburn if there's not a slot to put it in anymore, or maybe there will be. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, and things change. I mean, if you look at what even LG is doing now. So you look at LG, you look at the Velvet, you look at the V60, you look at the Wing. Like, things are kind of in an evolution in the phone world right now. So yeah, I was a little upset at first when they said they were getting rid of the G series and the V series. Of course, the V60 I thought was a very good phone, but then they come out with the Velvet, which I thought was a fantastic phone. They've got the Wing, which I think is a really good device, and there's rumor they're going to have a new flagship device early 2021. So yeah, I used to like that. When phones used to have names, it wasn't just like S20, like S34. I mean, or iPhone 11, iPhone 12, or V20, V30, V40. They just keep adding the numbers on there. It's nice that they have like legitimate names. Like, you used to look at Blackberry, they would have the Bold, you would have the Curve, you would have the Pearl, you would the Passport. They had names. I like when phones have real names, not just a number and a series of letters. So I think this can be good. I think it can be a good thing. I don't think it's a negative thing. I think people maybe might have a little heartburn if they ditch the Note name. But maybe they might just blend it with the S line and might call one of them the Note. Like, maybe like the S20 Ultra will be the Note edition, and they'll have a spot for the S Pen, whereas like the S20 or the Plus will just have S21, S21 Plus will just have stylus support, and it won't be in there, and that would be very, very little differentiation, but still kind of give people what they want. And also, I think Samsung is looking for more multi-year launches. Like, you saw what they did with the Z Flip. You saw what they did with the Fold. You saw what they did with the Note. I mean, they've had like 8 Unpacked events this year. So Samsung always makes the most phones of everything. And of course, they want to try and bring more customers over. So the more excitement, the more these virtual events they can have. 2021 very much going to be virtual events. I mean, I've got this CES virtual event coming up next month, which is really exciting. I am going to miss going in person though. Like this January, January this year was the first time I've ever been able to go to CES, and it's been a dream of mine, like for decades. Even like almost 20 years ago, I remember sitting there just trying to follow everything on the internet for all the cool new things that came out. So I was able to go this go around. I was able to meet some good friends, and it was everything I had thought it would be, and I had a great game plan. Like 2 weeks after I got home, I was already excited and ready for CES 2021. So I am disappointed I can't go in person, but I understand that we just can't right now. But some of these companies that are doing all these virtual events are really, I think it's a very big benefit to them. One, it's more of an intimate experience with more people who wouldn't normally get that level of access. So everyone's kind of on an even playing field. Even though I get press kit stuff early sometimes, but yeah, we'll just see. I think that there's going to be some changes people may not expect for 2021. Drew Victor, so CES is still closed off for members of the media or industry people. So if you don't have like a YouTube channel with like a certain amount of viewers, if you don't have your own website, if you don't have news or media credentials, or if you're not in like the tech industry, then you still can't get in. It's still, they're restrictive from that. Like normal people who just want to go you can't really get in. But you can check the website and see if you fall under any of their access levels. Let me see here. Mitchell Davison hated my Note 4. Go LG, great phones, V30. Yeah, V30, V40, V35, V40, V50, all great phones. And you can get them so cheap now. You might have older Android system software, but I thought the V50 was a stellar phone. The V60, I love the V40 as well. Got that quad DAC in it. So many good things that LG's done, they just don't get good credit for. And hopefully, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I talked with the LG people, and they're hoping that they can get me out a Velvet by Christmas. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but if it does, that'll be great, and then that'll be some nice coverage on that at the end of the year. So Hamazan, what are you expecting for the Blackberry 5G? Well, I'm expecting 5G. So I'm expecting. I think more hoping than expecting. The things I can expect really good battery. I'm expecting a good camera, like not just an okay camera, not just we threw it in there so you can have a camera. I think we're going to have a really good camera. Is it going to compete with Pixel? And is it going to compete with iPhone and Samsung? I don't know. I mean, it might at some levels, and I don't think it necessarily has to be that good. But as long as it's on par with like some of the cameras we're seeing in the LG Velvet or the OnePlus 8 phone, I mean, hopefully better than the OnePlus 8. The 8T has moments of brilliance and it has moments of so I'm hoping somewhere maybe a little bit better than the OnePlus 8T, but I'm not expecting quite Pixel level. I am expecting a very good battery. I'm expecting a nice premium build. I'm hoping that it has a rubber back on it, or maybe a carbon fiber back. I would really love a carbon fiber back. I think that my favorite back on any BlackBerry device was probably the Q10 and the Z30. I really loved that glass carbon fiber weave thing they had going on. I thought it was very durable. It held up over time. Very easy to clean. Didn't really pick up fingerprints. Didn't really make it slippery. So if they could put I really would like to see them bring that back. I liked that a lot. Or like the way that they had the textured back on the Classic. I really like that too. I'm hoping that we don't get a ultra thin phone, because I really wanted to have a build like here. So I've got the Passport right here, and this one I thought had a good back on it. It was very prone to oils in your fingers, and the texture I thought was a little too hard, so it slid a little bit more than I liked. But the Classic, I think, had a really good back on it. But yeah, I'm hoping that we see something between the Classic and the Passport. Like I think that we need to have a 4-row keyboard. The three row keyboard is one thing that I hated the most about this phone. just because it had that software, the software keyboard, that first row there when you would type, and it really took away from the typing experience because you're using a certain amount of pressure to press these keys, and then you have to touch up there and back down and back down. The Alt and the Shift and the symbols on the letters really, I think, is the most efficient way to go when it comes to a BlackBerry phone. So, yeah. I'm hoping for a nice rubber back. I'm hoping it's not too thick. I hope it's rounded. What I'm hoping for is like an evolution of the Classic. Like a little bit wider, a little bit taller, but kind of looks the same. Really more of a... Yeah, I would even be fine with a 1-to-1 aspect ratio. I think it's important for BlackBerries to have square screens. And it's much more doable now. Whenever you look at the 4:3 and the elongated aspect ratios, you get these tall screens, and it makes them like weird. It makes them top heavy. There's a lot of glass here. I get it. People want to be able to have a larger screen, and I hope for an AMOLED screen. I really do. I mean, LCD can be okay. I thought that the screens looked kind of weak and flat on the Key 2 and the Key 2 LE. Like, I was really disappointed with the screens. So I'm hoping better contrast, better ratio, HDR10, ideally AMOLED, good battery life, good cameras, and yeah, I want something a little bit wider than this. Like maybe just like a hint wider and maybe like that tall. So instead of a 4.5 inch screen, maybe like a 4.1. Like 4.1, 4-inch screen, I think that would be good. Maybe a little bit wider, nice rounded corners on it. I don't like these square sides on it. I don't know. There's a lot of phones that I really like in the BlackBerry lineup, and I think that they could take some good things from that and make it good. And of course, I'm really hoping, like I think we're going to end up with the high-end 7 Series Snapdragon processor. I don't think it's going to have the 888. If they were to put an 865 in it, though, I think that would be the best of both worlds. Clearly, like, look, BlackBerries are not overly skinny phones. There should be room in there to put the X55 modem in it, an 865, along with a big battery. I think it's doable. I really do. But we don't want it to be too big. I mean, I'm not talking like something the size of the Note. That would be a big phone. So I don't know. I know they were kicking around different ideas. I haven't gotten any real new information from them in a while. I told y'all about 2 weeks ago I had reached out to them, sent them some questions, things I wanted to talk to them about, and then earlier this week, actually I think Wednesday or Thursday, I sent an email to their PR people and I was like, hey, just want to throw it out there again, see if Peter wants to come on the show and talk maybe this week or next week. And they wrote back and they said, we don't really have anything to talk about right now that's newsworthy, so we'll hold off until later. They have added me to their priority media list, so as soon as they have anything to put out, I will get it at the same time the other outlets get it. So, yeah, I think that's good, and I've got a good relationship with them. They're solid folks over there, but I've been saying this for a little while that I don't think we're going to see any new information until January. The biggest thing that I think that we're presented with here as far as an opportunity, I'm hoping that we see something at CES. CES is going to be the first week, second week of January, and it is like the biggest tech event of the year. So, yeah, quiet season. Exactly. Nothing really ever comes out in December. I think that it would be foolish to put out a big announcement right now because it's going to get squashed by the holidays. January is going to be when the market and the world is reprimed for tech stuff to come out. That's when people expect it. So I'm hoping, I don't want to say I think, because if I were to say I think, I mean, I have no inside information. I hope, and traditionally they've done this. I mean, like whenever they showed off the original BlackBerry Key 1 with TCL and BlackBerry Mobile, they showed it off at CES. And then also they did the same thing. They had the BlackBerry Key 2 LE there. I know it was officially announced in like October, went on sale in like December, but they had it there. So, there's been a history of it. Normally, though, and we played this game before when it came to like the Z30, when it came to like the Passport. A lot of times, BlackBerry, and see, this is onward mobility. Of course, they're going to put their own spin on things, plus, however timelines work. a lot of times we would get announcements at Mobile World Congress in March. So I think if we don't see anything in January, there may be some leaks, but I'm kind of expecting a formal announcement around March when Mobile World Congress happens. If it still happens in March, I don't know what's going on with them right now, but I'm hoping, maybe January might be a little too early, but I think it would be awesome, and I think it would be really energizing for the BlackBerry base to get something soon. So I don't expect to hear anything in December. That's just my litmus test, my feeling and sense of what's going on right now. I don't expect to hear anything this month. I expect probably hear something in January. Mitchell Davidson, you want an LG Envy keyboard you could really speed the LG Envy was not bad. Ultimately, what I would really like, I tell you what, man, the BlackBerry Classic keyboard, I could type like 1 million words per minute. The BlackBerry Classic keyboard has always been my favorite. It may have been replaced with my Porsche P9983. I just absolutely love the buttons on this. And I'm a little heartbroken right now because the browser, even though we haven't had API support, we haven't had a Twitter app on the BlackBerry 10s for a little while now, you could still use the browser and log in and at least have the light version that way. And as of December 15th, you won't be able to use the regular browser on here for Twitter anymore. You can get a browser for it. And let me see, my battery might be dead. Okay, battery's not dead. I'm going to plug it in though. So I did find another browser, and I'm going to make a video about this just so people know. There is a browser that works with BlackBerry 10 if you download the APK. I'll also make the APK available just like I did with the BlackBerry World stuff. So you can download it and install it. Don't have to go looking for it, but you can still use Twitter on your BlackBerry 10 phone with that browser. So at least that still works. I don't know how much longer it's going to work. And there's only so much longer ultimately the BlackBerry 4 runtime, Android 4 runtime is going to have working apps for it. So that's going to be the challenge moving forward. I think that's one of the reasons why they really wanted to get this phone out in 2021. January 2021, I'm not going to be able to use any of my BlackBerry 10 devices, at least that I know of, on T-Mobile anymore. The Z30 maybe, the Passport maybe, but like the Q10 and the Z10 models, they don't have voice over LTE support. So that's going to be problematic. Monu, any update on BlackBerry 5G? No, I don't have any update. And you caught just like the tail end of that. I was just talking about that a few minutes ago. I have no new information on it. And like I was saying, I think that we'll probably hear something in January. And that's my guess. That's not grounded in anything, but we'll see. Amazing how it moved this week from news we already knew. What do you mean, T20? Hey, Brian, thanks. Coach is here. Anyone think BlackBerry will come up with smaller phone like the Bold? I don't know. Maybe. I think the biggest thing is they've got to make this one device first. And there's a lot of people that really are concerned with not having heard anything recently. I don't think that that's that big of a deal. They just entered into this licensing agreement on like August the 19th or something like that. So I don't really expect, we're only in the first week of December. It takes time. It takes 8 to 10 months to bring a device to market, even for a company like Samsung. So I wouldn't really, I've been telling people I don't expect to hear anything this soon. My understanding when I had talked to Peter, about 6-7 weeks ago, was that they were still not even decided on a final form factor. So I don't think they even have, maybe by now they've decided on what they're going to go with, but I don't see that, that's something that we're going to hear about yet. Brian Chin, which iPhone would you recommend? Well, that depends on your price range. So tell me what your price range is, and I'll tell you which iPhone I think you should get. AWS partnering. Yeah, so that was really cool. So at T20, I believe you're talking about the partnership between Amazon and BlackBerry, and they have a history of partnership before. John Chen was able to work with them before to get the Amazon App Store on the BlackBerry 10 phones. It's kind of like a stopgap thing to get us some apps way back in the day. So BlackBerry has a history of working with Amazon. And yeah, I think that this is going to be good. And see, people have been waiting for a while. Like BlackBerry and BlackBerry stock, and I've been keeping on it for a long time. It's really been hovering around $5 for a while. I almost bought some just because there was murmurs that it was going to go up, and I didn't buy any, which I did now, instead of the EV stocks that kicked my butt this last week. But yeah, so BlackBerry stock doubled from like $4 or $5 to like $8-9 the other day, and really cool. So yes, they've got this new partnership to work with Amazon for, I guess, their security stuff with and access for some sort of software platform for, I think, vehicles. And I was going to research it some more and make a video about it. I don't want to say too much about it just because I don't know the details of it right now. But it's great for BlackBerry, great for their software stuff moving forward because, really their enterprise stuff just hasn't been what it used to be. Like their level of prominence has not been the same. And even over on like Crackberry, a lot of people get really tired of hearing about the software and security side of it. But that's what they are now. They're a software and security company, which is why they've licensed before with TCL, which is why they've licensed now with Onward Mobility. The world, I think, believes that BlackBerries are still viable. The thing is that BlackBerry cannot assume the liability for it. Their shareholders didn't want to do it anymore. It was causing them to lose too much money, and they were not able to effectively move over and transition to a software and security company while they still had that on the books. So I don't blame them. I wish they would take a more active role in that to be better whenever it comes to making sure this device is good. Hopefully they'll be a little bit more involved this go around than they were with the Key series and the TCL devices. But yeah, good things for BlackBerry in store. I think that this Amazon deal is going to help put them back on the map more because QNX has always been good. They bought QNX a long time ago. QNX is great, but they really don't make money from it. Like they never have, and that's the problem. It's great that they've got it in 40-50% of the new cars out on the road now, which is amazing. They're the industry leader, but they've never found a way to effectively monetize it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens moving forward. Mitchell Davidson, I hit 5G in Blairsville, Pennsylvania, shocked over 1,000 millibytes. Man, that's crazy. The highest I think I've ever gotten is around 200 megabits per second. And as they continue to deploy these 5G network infrastructure all over the place, it's just going to get better and better, especially as they're able to shut off 2G, 3G, and 4G. Should be LTE and 5G only with T-Mobile in January, and then January of 2022, I believe AT&T is following suit. So yeah, over time, eventually we're going to get there, and the networks are going to get better and better. Let me see here, more questions. Jonathan Koss, why do you think the Key 2 is fetching such a high price right now? Further of what I said above. Yeah, I saw you said something up there. Let me see. Currently watching a Key 2 in red over in the UK, unused. Yeah, they're so expensive. They were expensive when they came out. I mean, I think the Key 2 Red Edition was $6.99 or $7.99 when it came out. Very, very limited edition. I always wanted one, but I had a regular one already, and I just couldn't afford it back then. I could probably swing one now, but this close to the 5G one and having the silver and the black one, it's really one of those things that's a very, very much so collector's item. And like diehard BlackBerry fans, of course, we love the red models. We love the red Passport, the red Key 2, the red Z10. So yeah, the red models are cool. I just, it's not something that I think I'm going to buy. I really wanted to get one of the ones made in Japan. They put out like another 100 or 200 unit run or something like that. Maybe it was 1,000 that had like a special moniker on the side. But the only way I could get it was paying like some special service in Japan, and I would have to pay them money to buy it and then send it to me. I just opted not doing that. But yeah, so the reason I think that they're more expensive is because it was the best phone out on the market, and it still is when it comes to BlackBerry Key 2 phones. They're just, one, hard to get. Two, they didn't make a lot of them, and people, since there was not going to be a new BlackBerry phone coming out, that made the value even higher because it's like this is the last one you can get. So I think that's why. Just one, they're not, up until this new licensing agreement we weren't going to get a new one. There weren't a lot of them. Even the silver and the black models were. The price actually kind of went up on them. So that's just why. So Brian Chen, what's the best value for the iPhone 12s? I think that the iPhone 12 is the best model this year for most people. I have the mini, and I like it. It's inside right now on the charger. I got a UAG plasma case for it, which of course is my favorite UAG case. But when it comes to that phone, it's nice. It reminds me very much of the iPhone SE. It just doesn't have the home button. The screen real estate is fine. It's just a small and narrow phone. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of people seem to like it. I don't know if it's just because we haven't had an all-touch screen, non-touch ID version of a phone that small, because previously we had the iPhone 6, the 6S, the 7, the 8, and the SE. So I think that it's cool, and we'll see how that goes. I'm going to test it out and make some videos and stuff. My unboxing video, I put that out a few days ago, or yesterday morning, I think. Yeah, so it's all right, but I think the 12 is probably the best. I do like the screen size on it, the weight. I mean, it's super light compared to the Pro and the Pro Max. I don't really see that the Pro really makes all that much sense, especially because the cameras are not even as good as the ones in the Pro Max. And the Pro Max is the only one that has the image shift stabilization. I'm drawing a blank on the fourth word in there, but sensor shift image stabilization. So that's only in the 12 Pro Max. So I would say get the 12 or the 12 Pro Max. Kyle, what do you think BlackBerry needs to do to make the model successful? And I talked about this some a minute ago. Really, it just needs to make a good phone. I mean, there are so many phones that have come out this year at a lower price point. Like you look at the LG Velvet, you look at the TCL 10 5G UW, $399 5G with a 765 in it. You look at the Pixel 5, which I think is an amazing phone. You don't have to have an 8 series chipset to have an amazing phone in 2020. So if we get a new higher series, 7 series Snapdragon next year, I think that's viable. Or if they want to use like an 865, I would totally love that. I don't think it's going to have the 888. But yeah, it just needs to be a premium phone. It needs to work well. They need to shore up any quality assurance issues. No screens falling out. No cheap finishes on it that scratch off like the Key 2 LE. Not a polycarbonate frame. Just stick to the basics. Look at some of the old BlackBerry phones and just make something modern. I think it'll be fine. Jonathan Calls, looking to replace my girlfriend's Z30 and the Key 2 is my choice. Key 2 is a very good phone. I like the Key 2 a lot. Here's my silver one right here. Honestly, though, I kind of gravitate more towards the Key 2 LE just because I like the build on it. I know it's got a polycarbonate frame. Yes, I know the finish sucks on it, and you can like scratch it off if you really want to. But the keyboard on that one, I thought that the phone was very good for the price. Like I thought the Key 2 was a bit overpriced. Had it come in maybe $100 cheaper, I think it would have done better. And yeah, it's a good phone. But the Key 2 LE is kind of what I refer to most people, especially if you don't care about the touch-sensitive keyboard, which I don't really think is an essential feature. So I would have liked to have seen a Key 2 that didn't have that and would have cost less, so we'll see. T20, if the iPhone 12 mini can sell, the 5G BlackBerry Classic will blow it out of the water. Yeah, I don't think it has to be a huge screen. I mean, I think if we get something that's kind of a blend between the screen on the Key 2 and the Passport, I think most people are largely going to be happy with it. Scott Viper, hello. Thanks for stopping by. I feel like I'm missing something here. Retethered Tech, hey, thanks for stopping by. Revolt, is it confirmed? I don't know what you're talking about. Sung Han, hello, enjoy watching reviews on wireless earbuds. Have you ever tried? So, SoundPeats. I had one of theirs before, and the ones that I got were just crap. I'm not saying they don't make good ones or don't make better ones now, and they've definitely made better ones. The pair I had was like a year or two ago. They offered me to review a pair of theirs earlier in this year, and they wanted like too much control over what I was. They wanted to be able to review the video before I put it out. They wanted me to say certain stuff in there. I'm like, no. It's like, you can send it to me now and review it, and you'll have no input on this whatsoever. And then I'll send you the link when I'm done with it. But yeah, I was no, I didn't want to work with them. Now I know a lot of people do. I don't want to say anything negative about them. It just didn't line up for me to where I wanted to cover their product. Mitchell Davidson UAG case, yes. If they make it for my V60, I don't know. I don't think UAG makes V60 cases. I know that Spec does because I reviewed some Spec cases for it. Urban Arbor Gear, so they've got a Scout series. They've got you can get the Unicorn Beetle. That's a good case. It looks like the only one here. Let me look. V60 ThinQ Urban Armor Gear. Yeah, so UAG only makes one case for the V60, which surprises me. I didn't know that they made one. It's the Scout series, and it is $29.95. I would recommend you look on Amazon. You can probably get it cheaper, but if you want to look at it, it's right there. UAG does make great cases, and I do like their cases. Well, I'm glad, Jonathan, that my videos were helpful. Coach here. Thanks for the great videos on Blackberry. I was a big fan. Yeah, totally love them. I'm hoping for great positive things in 2021. Mitchell Davidson, listening on Liberty 2s right now to broke to buy the Pros. Hey, the Liberty 2s are perfectly fine, and they've had good prices on them. The only thing you're not getting with the Liberty 2s versus the 2 Pros, if I remember correctly, the sound experience is not as good, like the bass is not as good, but it's still very good, very, very good earbuds. Mitchell Davidson, it's really hard. Yeah, it's hard to find cases for the V60. When I reviewed it, like the only one I had was like a Spec case that had just come out. So there are not a whole lot of cases for it, but the V60 is definitely a good phone. It's Crema, TechOdyssey. Do you think that the 765 would be good? I think that it would be perfectly good. I'm thinking that since we're going into 2021 and there will be new Snapdragons and a new 7 series, I'm expecting a higher series Snapdragon than the 765. If they put a 765 in it, they better not charge more than like $550, $599 max for the phone. I'm perfectly happy with anything they put 765 Snapdragon or higher in it, but it needs to be reflective in the price. Like, yeah, I would go spend $1,000 for a Blackberry to get a new one, but 90% of creation would not. And it was a hard sell this last go around with like the 649. So I really think that this phone needs to be, it needs to be very premium. It needs to be something that the media is not going to scoff at the specs, because, you know, that's what's going to happen. As soon as the phone comes out, if they go cheap on something, it's going to get ripped apart. People already have a predisposition not to like them anymore, just like LG. Like, it doesn't matter what LG makes. People say, all these reviewers say such bad things about them. So, yeah. We'll see. But I don't think it would be bad to have a 765. It just needs to be reflected in the price if they do. I've used 3 phones this year with the 765, solid processor. I love my Pixel 5. Mitchell Davidson, really hard. Yeah, hard to find, but I read that one. Kyle, I bought a Blackberry Playbook. I did too. Yeah, whatever they went on fire sale, and I really wanted one, and I was like, man, why is this? It was like $5.99, wasn't it? Like, it was not cheap for the Blackberry Playbook back in the day. It cost a lot of money. So, yeah, I went and looked at them at Best Buy all the time, and to this day, I still think the Blackberry Playbook has the best Monopoly game ever made. And I've been thinking about picking up another one of them, just because I haven't had one in years, and you can get them relatively inexpensive. But yeah, it had great speakers. It was great for multimedia. The biggest downfall of that tablet was that it never got Netflix. I mean, other than the fact that they lied and it didn't get BlackBerry 10, but because I believe it only had 1.5 gigs of RAM and it needed 2. And that was just a big thing. It was always, they could never get Netflix on there. They could never get any of the video streaming services. So that was just problematic, because that's what people wanted, and it just could not compete with Android or the iPads at the time. But it was very technically made very well. It was a very well built device. It's held up very well over time. Great speakers. I even used mine with the BlackBerry keyboard, with the Bluetooth keyboard, my first semester of law school to take notes. So, and this was back in 2014. But yeah, I totally love mine. Had it for years. I ultimately got rid of it after they announced it wasn't going to get BlackBerry 10. And yeah, I mean, I would honestly be happy if they brought out another tablet. I mean, if they made like a Playbook 2 that had a dedicated keyboard and was running Android, and I wouldn't have any heartache over that at all. Yeah, T20, very, very accurate. All BlackBerry devices have been ahead of the... Yeah, you look at anything over in like BlackBerry 10, such good phones. And that it could do so much with minimal specs. And it was funny because they used to harp on it all the time. They would compare it to Android. And when you look at the BlackBerry 10 devices, even now, like if you go try and use an Android phone from 2013, 2014, it is not smooth. It is not. It is not a good phone experience compared to today. But you can still fire up your BlackBerry 10 device, and it still works just as well as it did on day one. They were way, way like ahead of the power curve with their hardware and even their operating system. Like it got dogged so bad because of the swipe gestures, and they're like, "Oh, it's too complicated. People can't do this." And now they've adopted, like BlackBerry 10 was the first one to have the pop-up messages on the screen when you were in app. They were the first one. They weren't the first one with swipe gestures. Yes, I know the Palm or whatever it was predated that. But in modern smartphones, BlackBerry 10, the swipe gestures, it was just so effective. And looking at it now, Android 10 and iOS have completely copied them, and that's the current state of events now. And win, lose, or draw, it's whatever. That happens with a lot of companies. They have good ideas and they have good implementations and constructs, and then the market realizes that and picks them up and moves forward. If the BlackBerry put the 888 in their phone, I would pay $1,200 for that phone. Like I don't even care. I would totally love it. Hamza Muhammad, you went to law school? Yes, I did go to law school. I graduated from law school in December of 2010, so I've been practicing for 3 years now. I'm sorry. I graduated December 2016. I passed the bar 2017. I've been practicing for over 3 years now. BlackBerry, let them have that playing chess. I was really glad whenever they got those things like the pop-up messages and things like that on like Android and iPhone. But yeah, it was it just, unfortunately the operating system didn't pan out. Sunghan, I wasted an entire week not being able to choose which wireless earbuds to purchase. I know it's not easy, but out of many options, sure. What is your price range? If you're looking for something around the $50 price range, I absolutely recommend the Fiil, F-I-I-L, T1Xs. Those are probably my best budget earbuds of the year. I totally love those things. Great power, great sound. They're just overall really, really good. And I'll get you a link here real quick. And I'm not even going to give you an affiliate link. I'll just give you a regular link. Yeah, the Fiil T1Xs, I was blown away by these things. I reviewed them, and they're just so good for the price. Let me see if I can find them on here. Somewhere, Fiil T1X wireless earbuds. Yeah, and they're actually on sale for $40 right now. And you can get an extra 10% off if you click the coupon in there. So you can get them for like 30-something bucks. So there you go. Check those out. Dadgummit, the link is too long. Let me downsize the link. Bitly. Yeah, so these guys right here, you cannot go wrong with them. I guarantee that you will like these earbuds. So check that out. Sean Vega, I'm late, and you may have already said, but what are your just haves or must haves for the next BlackBerry? Well, yeah, I talked about this earlier. You can go back and watch it earlier in the show. But must haves, got to have a great camera. The biggest thing for me is going to be the screen and ergonomics. Like, it's just got to work. It's got to be able to perform like a flagship phone. It's got to be able to be reliable. It's got to be a good experience, and that's the thing. I enjoyed, for the most part, the BlackBerry mobile devices, but the experience just wasn't there. It did not feel like BlackBerries. They felt like cheap Chinese knockoffs. So this thing has to have credibility, good build quality, and it has to be a good experience. They can do that a lot of different ways, but as long as it has a good camera, all-day battery life, plenty of power, and a good screen, and good speakers, I don't think that they're going to... I think that the guys doing this are going to be able to make a good phone. So hopefully that answers your question, but I did go back more in detail to that earlier. William Barnes, what's up, Mr. TechOdyssey? You're the man. Thank you for teaching. Thank you very much. New Jersey. I love New Jersey, man. If I were to move somewhere, there are only two places that I would move to, and that would be either New Jersey or Maine. I went to New Jersey. I was there for a month back in 2010 before I went on a deployment, and I love it up there. It's beautiful. Let me see. How important is outstanding customer service to BlackBerry's new developers? So I don't know how that's going to be handled because here's the thing. FIH is going to be making the phone. They're the ones designing it, Foxconn. BlackBerry is supplying, I guess, the intellectual property and the software to do it, the secure Android model. And then what Onward Mobility does with it from there. They're kind of a small crew right now. So I don't know if they're going to expand that out more, but clearly they will have to have a customer service component. And hopefully people don't need to use it a lot like we did with BlackBerry Mobile, because BlackBerry Mobile's customer support was terrible. So yes, hopefully they'll have good customer support to go along with that. I mean, there's a lot that has to go on with this, and I think most people have realized that Onward Mobility is a very small company. They're not huge like TCL. They're not creating a new phone company like BlackBerry Mobile to do all this stuff. So that's something I haven't really thought about, but I think, of course, ultimately it is important, because if we do have problems with these phones, it's something that they need to be able to get it fixed quick, fast, in a hurry. Wow, it's already 51 minutes. Thanks. I'm still going to keep talking, but thanks everybody so much for stopping in tonight. Again, I apologize for not putting out a notification in advance. I meant to earlier today, and thankfully I didn't, because my plans this evening got derailed. I was originally planning on starting at 7:30, and I didn't get started until after 8, and I still haven't eaten dinner yet. So I did pick up food for the kids, and then I just came out here and went ahead and hopped on, so we'll see. Hamazon, do you watch unbox therapy videos on BlackBerry? I do. Anytime Lou makes a video on BlackBerry, I watch it. The thing I like about Lou is I think he's pretty objective. Like, I see some people and some YouTubers, and like they'll put their spin, they'll say things about them, they'll have negative stuff to talk about already, but Lou did a good job, I think, with that phone, and he actually even tried using it for like a week. I mean, he ultimately didn't like it and then said don't buy it, but I don't fault the guy for that. But he's not, I don't think, the target demographic for that. Not a lifelong BlackBerry fan, even though I believe he's Canadian, which, I mean, just because you're Canadian doesn't mean you like Blackberries, but a lot of people in Canada like Blackberries. So, Luca, hey, maybe it's slow to put out the notifications tonight. Sorry about that. I didn't put an announcement like I was telling everybody else. I had meant to do one, but today's just been haywire. I may try and do another one again tomorrow. We'll see how things go. I've got a lot of videos that I got to cover, so yeah, I'll see how that goes. But I'm really glad to be back here talking with you guys. It's a great time to be able to hop on here and chat with everybody and answer questions. Bionic, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I'm really hoping to get back out there to Vegas again sometime soon, man. My birthday's next month, and I actually booked tickets the other day, and then I ended up canceling them just because everything's so bad right now, and I do have concerns about Vegas being kind of locked down again. So I want to get out there, and flights are so cheap right now, and with my comp stuff, like I can get free rooms out there. So I really want to make it out there. I'm just going to have to keep an eye on things. If not, it'll be later in the year, but totally going to get back out there, and when I do, we're going to hang out. Kyle, who do you prefer, Michael Fisher or Marcus Brownlee? Or Marquez? So I like Michael Fisher and Marquez Brownlee as well. I've actually met Michael Fisher twice, 2 or 3 times. Good guy. I met him. So I went to New York City earlier last year when they had the OnePlus 7 Pro launch. And I flew up there on my own dime. I was able to get one of the invites because I paid for it. Because that's one of the great things about OnePlus. A lot of you may not know this. When it comes to a lot of these companies, when they do their announcements and they have their events, you have to be invited. And when it comes to OnePlus, they're very much like a company of the people. So they reserve a certain amount of tickets, so anybody can go on their website and pay like $25 and get a ticket to go. So I had the opportunity. I had just started my new job, but my boss already knew I was a giant tech nerd, and all I talked about was phones. So I was like, look, let me work. I'll work extra time since I didn't have vacation time yet. I earned some comp time, and I went to New York City for one day. Like, I flew up there. I worked all day. Got off work at 5, drove to the airport, got on the plane at like 8. I didn't land in New York till like midnight. And the next day I got up and I walked like a total of like 16 miles that day. I walked all the way across New York City to get to the wharf or whatever so I could go to the event. But I did meet him there, talked a couple of minutes. Then, I got my picture taken with him. And of course I've got that. and I was just in awe. I saw people there. I got to meet... what's his name? Your Average Consumer. Love that guy. Love Judd. I got to meet Mr. Mobile. Got to meet a couple other people. And so when I went to CES in January, I happened to be at another event because I was actually part of a group that he works with, because his Mr. Mobile thing is part of Future Group, but used to be Mobile Nation. So he's like one of their big guys who's independent but works with them. So I wrote reviews for the community review team with Mobile Nations for years. So if you go to Crackberry in the forums and you look up, community reviews, I've got a whole bunch of them there. If you go to Android Central, if you go to Windows Central, if you go to iMore, you can look at them. And I reviewed a lot of stuff before I started my own channel. And so actually Mobile Nations, they were in the transition of being bought out by Future Group, but they are the ones that got me into CES because I didn't have the credentials. So I was there, but on my own dime, and I went to a big after event that they had for their end of year award show and stuff. And Marquez was there. I didn't have the opportunity to talk to him, but I did get to hang out with Mr. Mobile for like an hour or so, and him and some other guys. Zach Talks Tech, El Jefe, Travis MCP, just some other guys that I met and made friends with. Painfully Honest Tech. So it was a great time going out there. But I love Michael Fisher. Marquez. I like both of them for different reasons. Like, Marquez is like the ultimate camera master, and his videos are just so clean. But a lot of his stuff is very much like in a closed environment. He does a lot of stuff in his studio, which I don't blame him. He's got an amazing studio. But he's very good at the way he presents things. But I tell you what, Michael Fisher, Mr. Mobile, I love watching. He could make a video documentary about like peanut butter, and I would watch it. His dedication to the way he presents and articulates himself and the way that he creates his videos is very much a good balance between technical and real world, but also the production value I love. So I watch anything that he puts out, and good guy. And I've heard nothing but great things about Marquez. So I like both of them. If I had to pick one, I would probably say Michael Fisher. He's one of the guys that really inspired me. And one thing, they'll probably never watch this, but it was, I was just starting making videos, and he actually, allowed me one day. I direct messaged him on Twitter, and we talked back and forth every once in a while, just very little. And I sent him a message and asked him if he would look over one of my videos for me, just give me, tell me what he thought about it, because I was trying some new stuff, and actually took the time to give me some feedback on one of my videos. So he's such a great guy. The other two guys that I absolutely love when it comes to watching tech videos, though, John for Lakers, John Redinger. He's been around for a long time, and I will watch any video that man puts out there. Though his documentary kind of style when it comes to making videos, he's a storyteller. He is an amazing storyteller. So anything that John Redinger puts out, absolutely, go subscribe to all these guys and watch their stuff. And then David Kogan, the Unlocker, I love his videos too, and he's been a big inspiration for me with some of my videos, especially with some of the vlog style videos that I've made lately. So I love all four of those guys. You can't go wrong with them. Let me see. Jonathan Koss. Last BlackBerry phones we had in our house were Nokias. Yeah, I remember the old Nokias. Nokia was, and that's the thing. Things change in the world, and that's one thing that Samsung and iPhone have done incredibly well is adapting to the market and being a leader in the market and continuing to stay relevant. Like, we're going on over 10 years of the iPhone now. Blackberry, like the very first ones that started coming out in the early 2000s, like they had about a 10-year run of prominence, but kind of lost out on, I guess, the vision of the future, and just they were too little too late. And I think Samsung and Apple have learned tremendously from them as far as their business models and the way they do things. So, yeah, I think they're doing some good stuff there. But yeah, even back in the day, Nokia, and they just never been able to come back on the same level. It's just there's so much now. Like, that's why it's so hard for these new companies to come in and compete at that level. Like, I think a lot of places have realized that they can't. Even Microsoft, with as much money they have, is they gave up on trying to compete in that space. Somehow Samsung has managed to not get fully on board with this whole ecosphere thing like Apple has. Apple knows that, you know, phones, you can only make so many. It's a saturated market. So now they've got Apple Pay, they've got iMessage, they've got Apple TV, they've got Apple Arcade, they've got iTunes, they've got so much stuff. And then Final Cut Pro that you can only get on Apple. So there's a lot of reasons other than just the phone that keep people locked in. And before it was just a phone, but now there's a lot of stuff. Technically speaking, so Scott Peachy, I would imagine that either me or Dan would be your number 5. I watch your stuff a lot more than I watch Dan's stuff. Dan makes some crap videos, but you know, he tries to be funny doing it. Not really. Go check out English Dan, and also check out my buddy Technically Speaking down there, Scott Peachy. Scott's a great reviewer too. And if you want to watch something on Pixel, if you want to learn about Pixel, then totally go watch his videos. And please share your link to your channel down there so people can see that, because there's 50 people here with eyes on it right now. Tech for Your Needs, Renee Ritchie for Apple information. So yeah, if you want to learn something about Apple, Renee Ritchie will teach it to you. Renee Ritchie is like the Apple guy. You know, there's not a whole lot of the guys when it comes to different products that are out there, but Renee Ritchie is the Apple guy. And yeah, that looking at other phones like Scott Peachy, he's very dedicated to Google devices. So yeah, he's very much a Pixel guy. And you learn something from these guys when you watch their stuff, because if I make an iPhone video, or if I make a Pixel video, like I'm going to cover a lot of the stuff. I'm going to cover a lot of the basics. I'm going to cover a lot of software, new features, but it's very much okay, I use this phone at a user level, and I'll tell you about the experience that I've had with it. But then when you get these other guys who like really go down in the weeds, like if you want to learn about the underlying architecture, the hardware, the software, the updates, the constructs, like all these things, those are the people that you'll learn it from. So if you love your devices and you don't just want to get like a casual, like my kind of experience when it comes to certain phones, because I review so many things, I could tell you all day long about Blackberry. Like, I absolutely love Blackberry. I hope that one day I'm the Blackberry guy. I mean, it's just my thing that I love, and I have a passion for that. Very much like Renee Ritchie has for iPhone, very much like Scott Peachy has for Pixel. So, yeah, though you can really learn some things there other than just the face value user experience. So that's important. Jonathan Koss, thank you so much. 3 o'clock. Yeah, thanks for the dedication, for being here tonight. I totally appreciate you being here. Get some sleep. Mitchell Davidson, how's the charge on the iPhone 12? I heard it's not good. I think it's great. The iPhone 12 surprisingly have good batteries in them. I was getting 6 to 7 6 hours minimum screen on time with my iPhone 12. I expected it to be less than that. I'm getting 10 hours with my iPhone 12 Pro Max, and it's amazing. But with the new 20-watt charger, it's the fastest charging iPhone ever. So as long as you're using a 20-watt, I don't think you can go wrong. Technically Speaking, really talk, man. You inspire me to make more content. Made a huge impact. Hey, no problem, man. I'm glad to see that your videos are doing so well. I see your stuff, and immediately I look at it a couple hours later. I look at these things. I look at the metrics. I look at the views. I look at the content that you're putting out and other people. So yeah, that stuff is good. And to see that your videos have been taking off the way that they have lately is amazing. It's been long past due. So Keep doing what you're doing. Try Saki Tech. He's the Samsung guy. Yeah, I don't. There's a lot of Samsung guys. Like, I don't know if there's like the Samsung guy. Usually, I watch stuff like when Samsung comes out. I'll watch Mr. Mobile. I'll watch the Unlocker, David Kogan. I'll watch my buddy Greggles TV. And like, if you ever check out Greggles, he's a great guy too. I met him at CES, and we've been real good friends. Developed a great friendship this year. He makes amazing stuff. He's very dedicated. His channel is called Greggles TV. And like he does 2 videos a day. One video he'll do like some sort of product feature or something, and then he does a news segment where he talks about Samsung news. So if you want to learn like the latest and greatest, stay up to date on the rumors and the leaks and the new things, definitely pay attention to Greggles TV. Yeah, I'll have to check out Saki Tech. Sounds familiar. I may have seen them before. I just drawing a blank right now. Mitchell Davidson, the new iPhone charger. Okay. So I don't have the new iPhone charger. The new iPhone charger, it is a 20-watt charger. I opted not to buy one, and I even made a video about the Anker Nano charger because it's also 20 watts, and you can pick one up for like $16. Apple, I think, was completely in the wrong by getting rid of the charger and then making it where the new cable won't work with your old charger, so where you basically have to go buy a new charger. It's ridiculous. And so I refuse to give them any money. Apple, I have nothing nice to say about that. But if I recommend not buying a charger for them because they need to fill it in their pocketbook that they've screwed people over, and they've done something I think is much more of a money grab than their whole environmental spin. Nothing nice to say about that. Preston Thoughts, welcome back. Thank you. I am really glad to be back. I was never really much of a live streamer person, and I really wanted to try and get into it, especially moving forward since I'm going to be doing this full time in January. Like, I like these opportunities to sit down and talk with people, answer questions, and do this stuff. Like, I make my video reviews, and that's great. But it's very, very one-dimensional. I mean, I put the stuff out there. So, and I'm glad whoever of y'all watches them. I very much rely on you guys' support. I mean, this stuff pays my bills now. And just for some transparency, like, between my military retirement that I get and the YouTube revenue that I've been making for like the last 6 months is enough that my family and I will be okay to get by. And I never envisioned that it would be at that point. Like, I never wanted to just go out and do YouTube full time. So it was never really my dream goal to do because, I mean, I'm an attorney. I mean, I'm a tax lawyer. So, but I do have my own law firm registered here in the state of Texas. So I will be practicing on the side on my own. But, I mean, I'll be very much so working my tail off, putting out videos for this because I really do love it. I love interacting with you guys, and I love tech. So, I mean, I just kind of wish I didn't spend 16 years in college to get there. I'd just be doing this, and I would have started a lot longer ago. Mitchell Davidson, Anchor, great company. Luca, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. You totally didn't need to do that, but I'm very grateful for that, so thank you. Very much appreciated. And I'm glad you're enjoying your Tab S6. And yeah, that's another thing. Like, Luca reached out to me today. I get people that email me. I get direct messages. I get comments. That's one of the reasons why I'm here and I enjoy doing this stuff, because I love tech. I love all these products, and to be in a position to where I can tell y'all about my own personal experiences or answer questions if you're trying to, get a new tablet or get a new phone or whatever. I'm glad that I'm able to help out in that regard. So it's just another point of this that I enjoy doing. Tanish Raj, hey, thanks for being here. Holiday Evolution just subbed. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. And we've got 25 likes right now, but if you haven't hit the like button for the video already and y'all are enjoying this and having a good time, please feel free to hit the like button. And also hit the subscribe button as well if you want to get notifications whenever I do more live streams, which will be more forthcoming. And, of course, all my videos. I put out a lot of videos. Preston, awesome you here, man. I want to make YouTube my full-time job. Yeah, you can do it. of course, tech is very saturated, but don't let that deter you. Everybody has their own spin on things. Everybody has their own perspective, their own presentation style, the things that they see in devices and products that maybe some other people don't. So I like to think that I've got a very good balance when it comes to the technical aspect, but also I like to look at things from a financial and economic perspective. Like, Luca asked me today, what's the best tablet for me to get? The Tab S6, the Tab S7, or the Tab S7 Plus, or like the Tab S5e or something like that. I'm trying to remember. But you don't always have to get the latest and greatest. You don't always need to go buy the new one that's, $200, $300, $400 more than the other one. Sometimes you can get one that maybe might be a year old and the price comes into your wheelhouse and it's going to give you the same experience. So that's one of the things that I like to try and focus on whenever I do my videos, is to talk about that stuff too. So I like to try and save people money and get them what it is they're looking for, instead of seeing all the latest flashy stuff that's out there and thinking, hey, maybe I need to go buy that, and you don't. Kyle, thank you very much for the $20 super chat as well. That's awesome. Thank you. You really didn't have to do that, and I don't really ever ask for super chat stuff on here. It's always an option, and of course it's greatly appreciated if anyone ever does. But the main reason I'm here is just to answer you guys' questions and interact with you on a different level, since y'all watch my videos and you get to watch me talk, but being able to hop on here and answer questions and chat with you guys, I think it makes it a better experience for not only y'all, but for me as well. It's a great thing to do. So I am going to have to call it quits here in a minute because my camera is on a battery. And I know that at about an hour and 20, it's going to get to a point where it's going to want to kick me off, and I'm at an hour and 11 right now. I am going to try and do this again tomorrow, though. Friday just doesn't seem to be a good streaming day. Not really a whole lot of people ever able to show up because there's just so many people doing their own show on Friday. Traditionally, I have done one on Friday, and I may next week, but this one it just didn't work out. But yeah, today, yes, glad to get on here today. Sorry it was a little late. Again, I'm going to try again tomorrow. I'll go ahead and put out an announcement thing. As long as there's no issues, I should be on at 7:30 Central Standard Time tomorrow. That's kind of the time I like to get on. Preston Thoughts, one day I want to collab with you in the future. I'm sure we can make that happen. Just keep at it with your stuff. Keep reviewing things. And before I get out of here, I do want to say I've got some giveaway stuff coming up. So it's only going to be for people in the U.S. right now, just because it's so expensive for me to mail these things internationally, and then the custom stuff. Like I did it one time, and it got held up in customs for 4 months, and then sent back to me. So I have partnered with Anchor. Of course, I've been reviewing stuff for theirs for years. They're giving me 5 pairs of the Soundcore Q30 headphones that just came out. I'm doing a giveaway with that for subscribers, so I'll have the contest soon. They're supposed to send them out to me next week. And then I have a phone coming from Blue, their Blue G90, which is their latest and greatest phone, their flagship for the year, their new gaming phone. They have also given me one of those that they put in the mail on Friday to send out here. So there's going to be some giveaways coming up, probably starting them next week. Again, you have to be 18 or older here in the United States, and it'll be one of those things where you have to follow me on Twitter as a requirement to enter it, and then you'll be able to get extra entries if you watch the video, or if you'll get an extra entry if you go follow the Blue Twitter channel, or an extra entry if you go see the Blue Twitter, the Blue Instagram account. So it's not going to be one of those long, detailed, entailed things. All you have to do is just follow me on YouTube to enter, or follow me on Twitter to enter. And so I'm going to do more of that stuff. I got a ton of stuff laying around here. And if you're a YouTuber out there, I'm also going to do a creator giveaway with some products to give away for that as well. So my battery is flashing at me now, which means I got to go. But thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for the new subscribers. Thank you for the super chats. And thank you for the big support since, it's been 2 weeks since I've been here. So y'all take care. I will be back tomorrow. I'm just going to say that now, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Y'all take care, and thanks for being here. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out, hit the subscribe button, and thanks a ton. It's been great. I'll see y'all tomorrow.